What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of buying and selling bad versus good websites on Flippa. Before I get into this, do not forget that I have a course out now about buying and selling web properties, SaaS businesses, content websites, everything having to do with deals and negotiations, how to approach sellers, and everything about buying and selling these different websites. And today, for Cyber Monday, a lot of you guys DM'd and got the course on Black Friday. Thank you so much for the support there. And what I wanted to say is today, for Cyber Monday, we're going to be doing another 50% off discount of the course with using coupon code CYBER. And the link to that will be in the description below. It's on a really secure, awesome website called Teachable, where all the content is there. And I've seen a lot of comments asking me about the content on there. And it is just a deep dive into how I do diligence on these various different cash flowing websites, the ones that I'm looking at, how I do deals, and all of the goods about this special content. All of it is custom content for people that have enrolled. And thank you so much for all of the support on the course. I owe you guys big time on that. It helps me doing this channel, doing more of these buying good versus bad websites, which I love doing. I love doing this diligence. It's a lot of fun. And I love talking to a lot of the entrepreneurs behind these websites. So that is the quick plug at the beginning, Cyber for 50% off in the description below. So let's dive into the overview of a good website versus a bad website. And I want to keep this one relatively brief, mainly because a lot of you guys mentioned that I talked about a couple too many websites, and 1-to-1 is usually the best ratio. So above me, you can see the 5 different categories: e-commerce, content/ads, SaaS, apps, and domains. I've heard a lot of people having a lot of success with domains. That has been around for a very long time. Domain flipping, where you buy a domain that you feel like is worth a lot of money. You can get it valued on something like GoDaddy, and then you can flip it on something like Flippa. And there is some value there, but I do not focus on that whatsoever. I mainly focus on SaaS and content websites. E-commerce, I've mentioned dozens of times in the past, usually has to do with your ability to advertise and market that business. Many of these sites will have to do with that, but e-commerce especially, because it is a product, and literally your funnel to that product is directly correlated to the success of that business. It is just a product that you are developing customers to find it, to reach it, and to buy it. So that is an entirely separate concept that I'm not going to be talking about very much on the channel, because a lot of it is just your ability to learn Facebook ads, and I am not an expert in Facebook ads. I like to think that I am at least somewhat skilled in doing diligence on SaaS and content sites, because those are what I own. I own dozens of them, and I think that it is important for people to know what works, and someone that actually practices what they preach is very important to at least pay attention to. But once again, don't take advice from people barking on social media. Just try and learn pieces that you feel are very good for you, and take 10% of things that you learn online and implement them, and just learn as much as you can. So let's go into SaaS and see if we can find a gem real quick. So the first thing I like to do is I like to go onto the filters. Obviously it's on website. Monthly profit I like to set at 25 to even 100, and the age needs to be 6 months. And then I'm going to hit search, because what you need to do is there's a lot of starter sites on here that when I spoke on stage at the Flippa event last month, a couple of guys came up to me and started asking me about starter websites, where people basically develop a template to filter out the starter websites. We're going to go ahead and search, and it's going to show us sites that are filtering for at least $100 a month and have been around for 6 months. So no starter sites, or at least ones that are telling the truth, will show up. Majority of these are going to be confidential sometimes, because as you can see, they're selling for 6 and 7 figures, and people want to keep that relatively close. And menu live. Let's go ahead and check this one out. You can see here, it looks like they're asking for $124,000. The interactive menu that helps dinners to do many different things. Built on Ruby on Rails, 2 years old. Net profit is $40K a month. Let's see. All right. I always like to read some of these questions that people ask. How many customers? Which are the busiest cities? It's all revenue generated from Armenia. Why are you selling? What's the period of support you're willing to offer? What's the cost base? How could buyer grow the business? Yeah, they really didn't fulfill annual expenses $3. Yeah, so they didn't fill out their entire posting here, and that's why there's so many different comments. Because people are asking questions, and I'm not quite sure. There's no revenue. It's wrong number. We just sell fully working software with support. Interesting. Okay, so this type of thing is there aren't any confirmations. It looks like it is based in Armenia, and it looks like there's a lot of people watching it, which is interesting. Maybe it's because of the concept, but this is something that I would steer away from. I would ask them maybe, if they could provide more information if I was really interested in the idea, and if there was more information on revenue. There's absolutely none on revenue, traffic, anything like that. So this is something that I would steer completely clear of. They also do not have Google Analytics, which is a serious red flag. You want to be added to Google Analytics, as I've mentioned in the past before, because that allows you to cut through everything and lets you see the actual traffic that's taking place. So this is going to go into the bad category for me, just because there is no information. They're trying to sell for 6 figures, and it just is a little too fishy for me. Now, Learn Apps, I happen to know a little bit about, so let's go ahead and check this one out. Unprecedented opportunity in the lucrative language app space, learnapps.co. It's mobile apps for iOS and Android. It's a SaaS, 8 years old. Net profit is $6,057 a month. Annual revenue is $72,000. They're asking $200K for the business. Learn Apps are simple iPhone and iPad and Android phrase books in 20 languages designed for beginners and tourists. We enable tourists and visitors to stop guessing how to pronounce and phrase and learn by listening to native speakers. All right. Cool concept. I like it. But they do not have any registered figures here. So once again, they appear to, they do have some information. Total downloads in the last 90 days, 208,000. To this day, all customer acquisition is organic. New users come from organic search on app stores. We charge $4.99 for upgrade. Total revenue is 1.1 million pounds, which is about $1.4 million. That is pretty impressive that a total revenue business that has been around for 8 years, that is generating $72K. So yeah, that sounds about right, I believe. And this does seem to be a pretty sick opportunity if these numbers are correct. I would want to be added to their actual Apple Connect, which is effectively the analytics for your app. And let's go ahead and check out the profit and loss statement actually. So App Annie is like the Google Analytics of applications, and you can actually sign up for App Annie. It's pretty easy to do, and you can see some of the top apps. I think you have to pay to see all apps, but this is a pretty good way of breaking it down here. Looks like Learn Japanese, Learn Italian. So these are all the different applications that they have. And yeah, it looks quite good here in terms of the consistency across the board. Looks like Learn Japanese has done 12,000 in total revenue. Revenue's down 24%. Sales revenue, ad revenue. Interesting, they don't have ads on there. It must be because their in-app is doing really well. So these all look quite legit here. App Annie is the gold standard for applications. So this looks pretty good. 2018 to 2019 are these figures. So it looks like revenue is down a little bit, but it does seem to be pretty spread out across all of these different countries, which is cool. And I do like that it's distributed out like this. That is actually really healthy. So yeah, you could ask for access to the app Annie. You could ask for more links and things like that. So I actually like this business. I like the idea of applications as a way to diversify in your portfolio of sites. So this is definitely worth pursuing, something that you would want to contact them directly, talk to them, and really see what their actual story is here, get a little bit more information on the revenue. But these numbers are quite substantial. A business that's made over $1 million in revenue for sale for 200, and it's making looks like 50 to 70,000 a year. Yeah, it looks like almost 60,000 a year is pretty remarkable. That's like a complete return on investment in under 4 years. And show me another asset class that can bring you that. That is quite good. So I would, in my situation, I would probably reach out to these guys and ask them for more information. I'd want to get added to something like App Annie and want some more links, and definitely wanted to dive into actual deal structure here. And I think that this would be something that seller financing would come in handy on, just because it is not high six figures, but low six figures, which people are usually more open to. That's it for this episode of the Buying Bad versus Good websites on Flippa. Thanks so much for all your support, guys. Once again, the link to my course will be in the description below, using code CYBER for 50% off on Cyber Monday today. And thank you so much for the support. And I will be doing more of these in the near future because you guys have been very supportive of this series. And I know that you guys want to see more different aspects of apps as well as content sites. So I will dive into more of these in the near future. That is it for this one. Please smash a like. It helps the channel, helps the video reach more people. And don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you on the next episode.